Hey, I'm Lyndol Woodruff, and welcome to the Clarity Changes Everything podcast. People are like, wait, you sell windows and you're doing a podcast? Yes, I am, because clarity changes everything, not just in your house with your windows, but in a chaotic culture, when you find clarity, your whole life changes. So I wanted to bring on some cool people. Let's talk to them. Grab some coffee. Let's do this. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there.
So
Another day above dirt is a good day.
It's good to have you in the studio, man. You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
You got a whole lot going on. You've been dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
And
super busy.
yeah.
Lots happening right now. Lots happening.
And I admire your faith through all this, battling this whole thing with your life and
Thank you.
dialysis and just everything you're going through.
Yeah.
Very admirable. You've been a big inspiration to me since the day that we met, just watching how you handle life.
Wow. Appreciate that.
It really is a huge testament to just the type of person you are and the story that you have and where life has taken you to where you're at now and how you still keep moving forward. So I thought it'd be perfect to bring you on. You've had a lot of chaotic times. You've had a lot of ups and downs. You're still dealing with some certain types of ups and downs.
Yes.
But yet you remain calm and you always have a sense of peace about you. And as I said, man, Mr. Chico would be a perfect guest.
Absolutely.
To come on and talk about this stuff. So tell us a little bit about your background and who you were in the past and
Oh, wow. How do I sum that up?
before you found clarity. Yeah, before you found clarity.
Before I found clarity.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a tsunami of individual. I think when you're young, your outlook on life is like, man, I got to get it out of this house, out from underneath my parents. I got to have success and all these other things. But I didn't have access to a lot of, I grew up less fortunate, I would say, poor, I guess you would call it. So there was a lot of struggle there in my life. So I was surrounded by other friends that would do things to get money easy ways and things like that. And not necessarily I did that, but that's who I hung out with. That's how I grew up. You would say I pretty much grew up on the street.
Yeah.
I grew up in neighborhoods where there were street gangs. I was involved with street gangs, things like that. And at a young age, I had friends dying all around me. At the age of 16 on New Year's Eve one night, a friend of mine was struck by a vehicle on the sidewalk from another gang member from another gang.
Like with a car?
And I held him in my arms.
Like with a vehicle?
With the vehicle, yeah.
Oh my
God. With an Impala. The kind with hydraulics.
The 6'4", like
He's 6
ways in the hood stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Gosh, dude.
And he came by. We thought he was just going to drive by, and he drove up on the curb, and ran over 2 or 3 people. And I held my friends in my arms that night, and he died.
You were 16?
16 years old.
Wow.
And there was other scary things that would happen, but when you're living that life, it's like, wow, and the crazy thing is, my parents, I say we're poor, but I grew up going to church schools and stuff. My parents would, do work for the church even, or do whatever they could to keep me in these places. I didn't go to public school till I got to high school. I was in private schools up to high school. So elementary, middle school was all Christian schools. And I was the rebel in that school. I was the one, I felt like I wasn't meant for it. It was always boring to me. But the crazy thing is I was like, when I got into high school, I was doing, senior, algebra and senior math. And I only had like one period of math for like half a semester
As a freshman?
and I was done with math for that year as a freshman.
Really?
And I didn't know my times tables even, but I was at this level. English, history, they were so easy. Right? I don't know. My brain works different, and it was always real easy for me. But it's not like I went out to cause trouble. I would just always end up in it because I always hung out with leaders, and they ended up being leaders of gangs or leaders of
the bad
of guys making money. You know, like the guys my age that owned houses on the lake and were driving BMWs and motorcycles and hot tubs.
What year was that?
Oh man, I can't even.
You were what year were you?
94, 95,
or
yeah.
Kind of at the peak of like gangster rap, really, to right around the 80s. And
yeah. As a matter of fact, I opened up. Remember Cigarettes a lot?
Yeah, of course.
I opened up for
Buttermilk Biscuits.
Some mix a lot.
You opened up for
in concert, yeah.
as a rapper?
Yeah.
That's
in Whatcom County, yeah.
Really?
I did beatboxing, but I was part of a group called African Indian Nation, and that's just part of the life. And
yeah,
I was also on a radio show called Gorilla in the Mist that my friend ran at the college there. The town I grew up in Washington was Bellingham, and they have a college radio station there, KUGS. And so I'd go up there with him and DJ, and I learned how to mix and, about records and music. And
so it was that how you ended up in the music industry?
Music has always been that for me. My parents were into music. I grew up listening to the Beatles and Miles Davis and just, Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind and Fire, and also rock. I listened to Pink Floyd.
Real music.
It made who I was as far as that went. And my brother, not my blood brother, but a friend that I met way back then. He was my best man at my wedding. We call each other brother. He's a Grammy-winning producer today, and I built all his studios. And but way back then, we started making music, and I funded because I was building by then at a young age.
Building custom studios is what you were building?
I wasn't doing that yet, but that was actually my first studio, the studio I built for him. And he's 3-time Grammy winning now.
You told me about
it. And 10-time Grammy nominated.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got a Grammy for Frank Ocean, Alicia Keys, and he did with my brain just went. Anyway,
it's okay.
But he's got a few of those under his belt, but been nominated many times for John Legend and
cool
things like that.
I like John Legend.
He did the Evolver album, and for him, just a lot of different things. And then he got me into. I built his studio, and then it was sort of like a study of mine. Any studio I ever went to, I would look at it and feel the walls and feel the textures, ask questions from the engineers, and it just became like something that I would study and learn about.
Would you say that that's one of the things that kind of started to get you off a path of destruction and something to more production?
Yes.
Something positive and productive, because you had to go to prison for a little while with some young.
Yeah, I did 11 months of work release, but I had to.
Okay.
I was let out every day, and I owned my own contracting company then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was let out to work and manage my employees. But at 4 p.m. every night, I have to go check in to this facility.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the sun go down or nighttime for 11 months.
Yep.
And leading up to that time, I spent 3 months in jail, incarcerated full time, and then they let me out
to do work release.
Yes.
Oh, I've had to do that before.
Yeah. Oh man. And I did done the bracelets, the ankle bracelets and monitoring.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. But then music as a passion.
Yeah.
Turned into a cool, productive hobby for you, and you actually got to build some custom studios for some really cool people.
Yeah. I built studios that major artists have been in. Alicia Keys, John Legend, Frank Ocean. That's who he got the Grammy for. Frank Ocean just popped back in my head. Frank Ocean, just many, so many. John Mayer. I mean, on and on. John Legend. All these artists, musical artists. Yeah. Lord.
Yeah. Were these studios? Because you mentioned you're from Washington. Were the studios in California?
There's studios I built in California.
Okay, so in LA.
Yeah. So I built a studio for my brother in Bellingham, and he did that for only a year, and then immediately he got onto a soundtrack Forget Which or Die Trying.
Yeah.
And his song was on a track. I was track 14. Excuse Me, Officer, or something's the name of the track, and for the movie. And so he was doing so well financially. We moved out to New York and I built a studio there for him.
Oh, cool.
I went out there, flew out there with him, and I lived out there for like a month or two, and we built out the studio. It was already an existing sort of studio, but we just totally, made it awesome, for him. And he met up with some other people in the music industry, and then ended up producing for John Legend. And it was just kind of history from there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, when he did the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, 50 Cent had his own record label. So he did a song with Mary J. Blige, this other guy named Hot Rod. And it was a huge hit on the East Coast.
Very cool.
So when we got there, cars were driving by bumping his song, because it was a hit right at that moment. So we knew things were about to change. And
yeah. How long were you in that industry for, building studios and bouncing around coast to coast and getting plugged into all of this stuff?
Well, the last studio I built was about 9 years ago. It was for Zayn Malik from One Direction. I built a studio. I took his garage and dining room, created this really cool studio I'm not really supposed to speak on what it looks like inside the space, but it has a reggae kind of feel to it, like he's really into the Bob Marley and stuff like that. So it has that feel to it. It's really cool.
Cool.
I wish we could have done pictures for it and stuff, but and put it in a magazine or something. It was really cool space. He loved it. But
so you would do everything from design the layout, order the equipment, get all the stuff, do the decoration, like full on?
Oh yeah, and I'm a contractor, remember? So I'm a builder. So I don't only do the design, I do the way it's going to look. I do the lighting design for the electrical systems. I do the plumbing design if we're going to have a sink or a restroom or things like that, or we're going to have a water wall with a water feature. Anything like that. So, and the artists, I'm the only person the artist speaks to. They don't speak to any contractor.
Wow.
I'm the only person. I do that because artists don't really like handling individual people like that.
Right.
And it would be a lot for them. So they only talk with me. I get everything done, and I go very particular.
Artists are very particular.
Super particular.
I've worked with a lot myself.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them can be very interesting.
Oh yeah. I could tell you a lot of stories about that.
Yeah, me too.
But unfortunately, I signed NDAs.
Indeed
non-disclosed.
Yeah, for sure. So 9 years ago was the last time you built a studio, and I know you mentioned something to me, which is pretty cool, something locally, that you may be able to get plugged into here locally for a big learning center. Are you allowed to even talk about that yet?
Well, it's all kind of, I know just as much as you do. I have an appointment literally as soon as I leave here with the head of the educational system here in Dallas, and they're building some learning center nearby here actually. And it's a pretty high budget. I think he had mentioned it's like a $59 million budget, but they're just pouring the foundation. They're wanting to put a podcast, recording studio type thing in there.
Right. So there's going to be art programs for education.
Yeah. So kids from like high schools that are showing some sort of higher learning, they can take them there and teach them even more. And it would be a facility. I'm already talking to them about bringing in like producers and people that can teach a class,
do like little workshops.
Little workshops.
Is it part of a nonprofit?
No, it's a part of the school. But as far as I know, and I could be saying this all wrong, right? It could be all, locally, rich people donated money. But from my understanding, this gentleman is from the school, the leadership in the school here in Texas for the learning. We're learning. It's a higher learning type facility.
That's awesome. Well, it's cool to have. I know that's a big passion of yours, and you've been dealing with a lot, man. And I want to make sure that we touch on this, as it's very important for the concept of the podcast, right? Like in a chaotic culture, where there's distractions galore, and we're dealing with daily life, and then we just add so much more into our mental repertoire by scrolling and swiping, and so like just endless inbound of stuff
Yeah,
makes the mind go crazy.
absolutely.
And so while you're doing these things, you've been dealing with some health issues, man.
Yeah, that like I said, the last studio I built was about 9 years ago. That's when I was diagnosed. Um, I received a paper. Well, I had gotten pneumonia that year. I had actually taken a job because I was tired of traveling. I just finished the studio for Zane. I didn't want to really travel the next few years, so I took a job. A guy from my church was the head of construction for Habitat for Humanity, North Collin County, and they were looking for a construction manager position, the person that's on site actually building the houses with the volunteers. So I was like the only paid person on site while we were building homes for Habitat, and I'd work under the direction of the leaders there and Habitat, North Collin County, and I got pneumonia. And long story short, the pneumonia killed my kid, or the medicine they gave me for the pneumonia killed my kidneys. And 5 years into dialysis, I found out that the dialysis was killing my heart. So I'm waiting for a heart and kidney transplant right now, and literally just thanking God for every day. But while this is all going on, I have written, in this last 10 years, I haven't been able to work
Right.
because I do dialysis 35 hours a week. But I've written 2 books. One's about to make it. It's a children's book about early learning music for kids called The Musical Notes of Rockin' Rabbit. And then I've also, I had an invention 10 years ago called the Canine Grip. And that's about to come literally like this next week. We will be launching our website on Shopify. It's our first platform for selling.
Yeah.
And you can go there and sign up and get one early and all of that. But it's retractable dog leash.
Yeah, you let me play with the prototype at your house.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's got crazy stories about dogs running, doing circles and wrapping ropes around, getting tangled up, and just that standard retractable thing.
Yeah.
Such a pain in the rumpus.
Yes.
And what you've created, you said 9 years ago is when you originally came up with
Well, it
the
was about
invention?
more like 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Wow.
It's like 12 years ago, because that's about when we moved here, back when we moved from Washington to here.
Yeah.
And I was working on Canine Grip. I actually had a company that was going to put like $500,000, take like 15% of my company, but do everything for me. I found them, and COVID hit, and that they don't even exist anymore. That COVID just knocked them completely out of business, and that kind of fell dead in the water. So I thought that idea was just dead and nothing was going to happen. But things don't work out that way sometimes. God has other plans for you, and doors just continue to open if you're faithful. And that's what's happened to me. And here we are, where I've been working on it it hasn't even been a year yet. And here we are ready to start selling. It's a $3 billion industry. Just retractable dog leashes themselves. That grows 7% every year. And I'm disrupting that market big time. Nothing has changed on the retractable dog leash since 1945.
Wow.
It was patented. So I'm totally changing that, and I'm making it safer, more control over your animal.
Well, yeah.
From getting tangled up when you're crossing your street, you can continue to jog and run, and you won't get tangled up.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
When you first told me about it, I was trying to envision, like, what does this even... as soon as I stuck it on my wrist, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I totally get it now.
And if you have a dog, even a substantial dog that you use that pulls, man, you'll feel the difference. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Is it the way I designed it? It puts all the pressure off your wrist, pushes it into your forearm.
Yeah.
So when the dog jerks, when you're not looking or something, immediately that gets put into your forearm instead of just ripping your wrist.
Yeah.
So, my mom, that's why I had the idea. My mom, I picked her up one day and she had a scratch on her forehead. And I said, what happened to the dog? The lady that she takes care of, she's a caregiver, pulled her down, and the dog did. It took off, and she didn't let go, and she face planted on the sidewalk. And then we were driving, and that had happened to me twice that day. I walked my dad's dog. He had broke his ankle. So the same day all this happened. And I fell twice on the beach walking his dogs. And then after I had that conversation with her, we're driving home. 2 ladies were crossing the street. They were both tangled up waiting for the light.
Oh my
And I was looking at him going,
So all this happens really in like rapid
literally,
succession.
yeah, this all happened within 3 or 4 hours of it. And I thought, before I watched those two ladies doing the get untangled dances, right? And I thought, but they seemed like they were used to doing that, like it was the norm,
Right.
and they just had it down,
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that's a problem. I said, and I said, man, whoever could think of a resolution for this, they're on to something, because this is a problem.
That's very.
And before I even got to the second light, it popped into my head.
You like saw the vision.
I saw the vision. I saw how it functioned.
Yeah.
I saw the wrist support, everything that it extended. You can shorten it, lengthen it. And I told my mom right there, I said, I need to go to the hardware store and a couple other places. I have an idea. And I literally went, and I was up till like 3 a.m. making my very first prototype that still works to this day. I've tested it on many dogs, hasn't broken.
The same one you originally made?
It's the original one, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I know the website is live, and there's going to be a Kickstarter coming soon.
Yeah, we have we have a Kickstarter that we're launching here, I think the 16th. But since we're recording now, I'll go ahead and say the actual Shopify website will be k9grip.shop. So if anybody wants to check that out, you can actually see it now, but we're still working on it. So, but that'll be where we're doing all of our sales now. We're hoping to we're hoping to do all our sales. We're wanting them to be online, or we're wanting to cut a deal with like Chewy.com.
Oh, cool.
They own like 45% of all pet sales, food, everything.
Yeah, and you have someone on your team that's got retail experience,
Absolutely, right? Yes. Yeah, that's who I just met before I came here. He's going to be my head of sales. He was a bank manager and for Washington Mutual. He was in charge of sales and all the managers for those different franchises. And then he moved to Texas to manage. He was a head manager for Walmart. So he did that for many years. But he's just had a conversation with him. He's an awesome guy, and I'm so lucky to have him even thinking about it. But he's wanting to come work for me today, which is awesome. So, and it's also his birthday today, so we had treated him to some sushi.
Awesome. I want to go backwards just a little bit, and touch on something we were talking about, because I think this is important. During your wild times transitioning into kind of passion, was there a specific thing that happened, like a specific event you can remember where the light bulb went off and you just thought, dude, I am on the wrong path and I have got to make some changes?
Yes, there was. Yeah, absolutely. It was that situation I told you about, my friend that died. And there was other close calls where I was even shot at in a situation where it wasn't just me they were aiming at. It was a lot of people. And I wasn't struck by any of the buckshot. It was a sawed-off shotgun. But everybody on both sides of me were hit with it, which doesn't make any sense.
Like in Pulp Fiction when they fired the bullet holes were right behind it and nobody got hit.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any it doesn't make any sense, because buckshot fans out and it's more concentrated in the middle.
Right.
And they got the fanned out, and I should have been in gotten the most of it.
In the buck of it.
And I didn't. There was nothing. And I remembered, anyway, just those types of things. And I wanted to pray to God during those situations. And because I knew what was right and wrong, but yet I was choosing to go out and do wrong. Because I had grown up in Christian schools and stuff, right? So I felt unworthy to ask God for help. I felt like, what a hypocrite.
Oh, man.
You're out there living it, doing it this hard. And, here you are asking him for help. Like, you're the last person that deserves help. And I remember talking to a pastor friend of mine. He said, those are the times he wants you to ask for. And it's Satan, the ones that tricks you into thinking that you can ask for help. He's the one whispering in your ears going, don't ask for help. You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that's who I was listening to.
Not worth it. Who do you think?
Yes. And that day I asked for help, everything changed. My whole life, everything pivoted 160, and everything changed. Everything had changed in my life.
You decided to call on God instead of struggling through it yourself.
Yes. And the moment I started relying on God for everything, I don't just put him in my in my problems. When I have problems, I don't ask for help. I ask for help on good things. I ask them for help for what to say here today.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a problem. This is something good.
Yeah.
But I wanted him to speak through me and
ask for guidance,
direction, and things like that. So, I put God in everything, and ever since I started doing that, everything has changed. Everything has changed. Even when I was building studios and all of that, I was still kind of chasing the world. It took me having to get sick and handed a piece of paper that says that in the state of Texas, I'm considered terminally ill, which means I'm going to die unless I keep doing dialysis or get a kidney transplant. Now it's my heart that's overridden my situation. Now I need a heart transplant if I'm going to continue to live. So,
and that's been going on, what, 3 years?
That's been
the heart part?
The heart part's been about 5-6 years.
Oh, 5 or 6 years.
Yes. The kidney's been about 9-10 years.
Man, I'd tell you, your wife is an amazing individual.
Yes.
Everything she does to keep you supported and taken care of, and above and beyond.
She carries such a load.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So much respect.
Yeah. She works full time from home.
Yeah.
She's an insurance underwriter. She just got a promotion to auditor, one of the head auditors for the company.
She's the Globe Life?
Great thing. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
And so she's killing it that way. And she's my nurse. We do dialysis at home. She runs my machine. She trained with me for like 6 months to learn how to do it. She sticks my needles every day. She's amazing. She's a mother,
What a blessing.
She doesn't miss anything. She's such a wonderful person and individual.
And both of you guys, this is just a testament to faith and relationship with God, right? Both of you, despite all of this, are like the most even-tempered, chill people I've ever met. You could be dealing with all kinds. Your house could be on fire.
We've never argued.
I know.
We've been married many
It's
years.
astounding.
We've never argued. People don't believe that fact, but we don't argue. Even if I'm so mad I want to argue and I yell at her, it's honey, we'll figure it out.
I know.
And she looks at me with these eyes of Jesus, and I'm like, oh, you're right.
He was our worship.
He
could do workshops.
That's right.
Help these wives out.
That's right.
Melissa, come on, Willie.
Absolutely.
You're blessed, man.
She's so humble and just so good, such a good woman. And I always, when I look at her through Christ's eyes, I see this little girl that just has faith of a child, and he sees her and loves her so much. And it brings a tear to his eye how happy he is when he looks at her. That's what I see when I look at my wife. And I just take a moment to stare at her because I can see that love that he has for her, because I have that same love for her.
Can you imagine how big of an impact that perception, like that way of being?
Yes.
If us on an individual level made that a practice of looking at the world and people through that filter.
Yes, absolutely.
What that could potentially do.
Yeah, it's huge.
And that kind of intersects with, I like to get your take on this, because you hear so many people, especially like in Christianity, right?
Yeah.
I give everything to God. I give it to God. And then there's also, we do have some personal responsibility. Like we can believe, but if we don't take on that belief and start applying the principles of Christ and letting it change our mind and change our thinking and change our way of life, nothing really changes. So a lot of the times it feels like people just say, well, everything is on God. I've got no responsibility in anything. And just keep doing the same things and living the same exact way and expecting things to change, and then say, see, God's not delivering.
That's right.
I'm like, well, no, God's delivering.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
That's right. You got to meet him halfway.
It's a collaboration.
You got to meet him halfway. I figured that out in the last 10 years of being sick and just, I should just be sitting home feeling sorry for myself.
That would be
the norm. The norm for someone like with the condition I'm in.
Yeah.
And all the answers that the world's giving me and doctors are giving me.
Yeah.
Need to be very bitter and I met a lady in the hospital. She told me, "You've brought in so much healing to me. My husband died from similar situation you're in, and he was so bitter and so hateful towards me." And she says, "But I see the love you have for your wife." And I told her, I was able to speak to her on behalf of her husband. And I said, "Listen, I want to be that way, but it's because I have a relationship with Jesus that I'm not that way." And I said, "Don't take it personally. I'm sure he loved you and loved you.
You just didn't know how to process.
I just didn't know how to
what was going
give
on.
it to you."
Yeah.
And this is a lot of suffering.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And she understood it. And she goes, that's what my brain has told me since he's passed. And that's how I've been able to forgive him. But you saying that just brought complete clarity to that situation and has brought me complete peace over it. And she was crying and
No, man, it's
just
awesome.
so thankful.
Yeah.
God's used me in my situation. You know, I have the saying, one of the books I'm writing is called Living Terminal.
Living terminal. Yeah. That's,
And
yeah,
what God put on my heart is we're all terminal. Doesn't matter if you're a believer, not a believer. Doesn't matter what you worship, what you do. We're all terminal. You never know when your last breath is going to be. You could walk out of here today and it's over for you.
Yep.
Right? Lyndol's done.
Yep.
Right? But where you live in your life terminally.
Yep.
Because I feel like I've been given a second chance. Knowing I'm terminal, I put everything. I have more focus on what I do. I have more purpose on what I say to my children and what I say to my wife. I live that way. But we're all terminal. We don't know when we're going to live. So why don't we live? Why do we live like we have for billions of years?
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, it's like that 10-year-old song. Yeah, you live like you were dying.
That's right. Any old person will tell you on their deathbed, man, if you could do something, it's all about family. It wasn't about, I spent all my years chasing money and wasn't around my kids or my wife and treated them. And now I have that time and they're gone. None of them want nothing to do with me. Here I am dying. What was it all for? You know, so live terminal. That's what my book's about. And it's a very simple, the way I'm using it, my story, but I think that could hugely impact a lot of people to kind of turn. We got to have a sense of urgency with our lives.
Right.
And how we treat people.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what you go through. It's your mentality and position you put yourself into while you're going through it.
Yeah, what you just said strikes something in me because it's a way of being. It's not necessarily, it is action, like everything is action, right? But it's more of a way of beingness towards yourself and towards people, because the way my mind works a lot of the time, and I've had to work really, really hard to shift out of this, is when I think urgent, I think all of my tasks have to get done right now.
Right.
My brain's more from an action-oriented perspective,
Yeah.
and it throws me in a loop sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if I have 28 things to do and I'm living like I'm dying, I start to think I got to get 28 things done right now.
Yeah.
So I have to slow down a little bit and redirect what that even means. It's more from a place of not everything I'm going to do right now, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Right.
Not everything that I'm going to do right now, but the changes I'm going to make from my perspective and how I treat myself and how I treat other people.
Right.
With value.
Yeah.
Like we mean something.
Right.
Not the things that you're going to accomplish. Because, man, I tell you, I did a lot of personal development work when I lived in California, did a bunch of seminars and stuff like that. And, a lot of the personal development industry, there's so much hype in it. There's so much rah, rah, rah. And, all we have is now, like that whole motto of all we have is now. And I'm like, yeah, all we have is now. Let's get it all done. And then I found myself just my brain way overactive, thinking I got to do all this stuff right now.
Yeah.
But no. It's deeper than that.
Right.
It's about being and becoming more thoughtful.
Yeah.
More intentional with conversations, how we approach each other in public.
Yes.
Those types of things from a beingness perspective.
Right.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's more, since I have a faith-based kind of outlook on things.
Right.
I always tell people like this: if you had, you think of the one person you love the most, right? And that's normally people's children, their spouse, a parent, something like that, a sibling. Picture that person right now on the end of a dock, this beautiful, peaceful valley, and then the water is deep, full of sharks, whatever else could hurt them in that water. And they're on the edge of the water, and the world has bound them, has bound their hands, has bound their feet, and has bound their mouth shut. And they're about to get pushed into the water. And you have the potential to say something to them to keep them from that final decision. What would you say to them to help save them from who they are or how they're living? You know what I mean? And I use that sort of thought process. That's the urgency I'm talking about. We should have some sort of urgency for our children. A lot of people don't want to, I guess, we might be getting off subject here, but
no, because it ties into chaotic culture, man.
Yeah, that's
we're,
right.
We're ran by distraction and what doesn't matter and all that crap.
That's right. Like, well, I'll just say, for instance, my son, good, wonderful Christian kid, goes off to his first year of college, came back the first year, tattoos, just a lot of things that it wasn't. We feel like it wasn't him, but he was exploring college and learning all these new things, and didn't have people, looking out for him there and say, hey, no, don't do that, So he just kind of did whatever he wanted. He's right now coming back to God and realizing, man, I wasted that year and now I need to focus, and everything sort of shifted for him. But I saw him out bound by hands and mouth, and I took the time to say to him, son, you're heading into destruction. Like wanting to be out late at night, out in the, after midnight every night with all the other kids. Maybe that's not something you do. Some parents don't even want to do that. They don't want to say that to them. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, it's just the
from not saying
learn
something,
mentality.
from not saying, and there's many different situations that could pertain to a wife or a spouse. A wife might see her husband still wanting to go out on the weekends with the boys, a little too much, and not spend time at home with the kids, right? That's her job to say something to him about it and let him know an urgency of, speak life into your husband. My wife does that with me. If I do something off note, hey, you shouldn't say that. That's not what a godly man should be saying. I'm like, oh, you're right. Sorry. But she catches me and I catch her. Not very often. She's sort of perfect, but you get what I'm getting at. There needs to be some sort of urgency for those around us, you know.
For what matters.
For what matters.
For what matters. There's too much random energy spent in all kinds of directions that really just don't matter.
And these days we're so worried about feelings.
Yeah.
People's feelings. And, unfortunately our culture these days are that they play the victim really quick.
Oh yeah.
They go right to victim, and that justifies everything. If I just play the victim, even if it's something small you did to them, man, they'll hold that, then like that ruin everything for them. And they just play the victim. It cops them out of having a conversation to figure it out.
Having to take responsibility, and
having to take responsibility.
It's convenient and profitable.
Yes. Yes.
So I think mentality is very profitable.
Yeah.
Not personally. Yeah.
Yeah. So more urgency and just, clarity, that'll help you get clarity.
It does change everything. So if someone, we're going to be wrapping up here in just a few minutes, but so I want to make sure and touch on another thing really quickly. From your perspective and everything that you're going through right now with dialysis and heart trouble and still bringing an invention to market and, all of these things and getting the opportunity to still work within your passion and be a servant leader at the church. I mean, without fail, you're always at the front during prayer time, there to just pray for whoever. That's how we met. So thank you for that, by the way. If there was, for people that may be struggling in chaos and really distraught right now, what's one thing that you would suggest?
Oh man,
for clarity to kind of start to go into a different direction. What would you tell someone that said, "Man, I'm in destruction mode right now.
Yeah,
what do I do?"
I would speak. I'm going to speak to two different types of people: believers and non-believers. Right now, the believers, I would say, just get closer to God. Completely give everything, every aspect of your life, your kids, your family, your finances, your relationships. Give it all to him. Non-believers, I would say, try to find some of that. And if you don't want to do that, I get it. I understand your perception of it, and I'm not going to push you to do something you don't want to do, but just live a little bit more thankful for today, because we all are terminal, and that's what I've learned. It doesn't matter if I was a non-Christian, I would have hoped I would have found all this out the same way I did being a believer. I feel like I have more clarity and oversight over it, and I've learned more through the process being a believer. But I pray to God that even if I wasn't a believer and maybe a full-out atheist, like I don't want nothing to do with God, that I would at least be right now thankful for every day, and just live a little bit more thankful for everything around me. Because it doesn't matter the circumstances you're in. I found out there's someone always way worse off than you.
Yep.
And they're walking through 10 times worse than what you're walking through. I've met people that are walking through what I'm walking through, and they have cancer, and they have a failing liver, and they have an amputation, and they have this and that, and blood poisoning, and just
Good night.
yeah. And so when I walk into the hospital, I walk in thankful that I'm able to walk in on my own feet. And I know those hallways where those patients are being seen. I walk over and I put my hand on the wall and I'm praying through those walls, sending prayers into those people and saying, God, bless these people that are here hurting, bless them. I'm so lucky. Thank you for the breath that you give me to be able to still be here today. I'm not supposed to be here. The doctors will tell you my numbers, all this stuff. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I should already be gone, but God says different.
Yeah.
And I'm still here, and I'm still accomplishing all these things. So live a little bit more with a purpose and thankful. You don't have to believe in God to do that, but I would pray that
Spirit of Thanksgiving.
you just spirit of Thanksgiving
Every day, not just on Thanksgiving.
not just on Thanksgiving, every day,
Yeah.
and take time. Focus on your family, focus on your kids, be intentional. I've tried it my way many times, and I've failed over and over and over again. But when I put it in God's hands, only success has happened. I also say to people, when you walk out of your house and your stairs are covered with ice, whether you're an atheist, Muslim, Christian, and there's no railings on those steps, you're probably going to fall and hurt your bum, right? And it's going to hurt. There's going to be pain. There's going to be maybe some tears of crying. But you can also find joy in that moment. I've seen people fall and laugh, like a little kid.
Yeah.
Because they found joy in it. Like, but...
And they put it on TikTok.
Yeah, and then they put it on TikTok, and they get millions of followers.
Yeah.
But, just live a little bit more thankful, a little bit more intentional. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Perfect advice, man.
Yeah, and that'll actually turn into clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for taking the time, man. I know you got a lot on your plate right now. I really appreciate you coming in and having this conversation with me and the listeners. And, maybe if one person gets a really good nugget out of this, then we achieved what we're going for, man.
Absolutely.
Help people find a little bit of clarity in a very chaotic culture.
Yes.
So the Shopify
Yep.
site for the Canine Grip, you said, is caninegrip.shop?
Absolutely, yeah. caninegrip.shop.
So,
you can go to caninegrip.shop, and it's live right now.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Go check it out. All the support we can get.
Is there different colors?
Not right now, but we're working on a deal because it has an extension arm on it. We're working on a deal where you can wrap it with reflective, so at night it just glows big time when lights hit it.
Cool.
But you can choose any colors. I mean, anything you want. So we're working on that. We also have a water bottle that's going to be sold with the same logo and stuff. It has a food carrier in the bottom that unscrews, and a feed, so you can drink the water for yourself out of it, or you can pour a little into the bowl that comes on, that unscrews from the bottom. There's 2 bowls that unscrew. One holds food and one's empty to pour water for the dog in.
Cool.
So you take that with you, and it's all sorts of other little things that'll be we'll add to the website. Yeah.
What about your book? Your books?
The children's book that I'm doing, Musical Notes of Rockin' Rabbit. We're finishing up the editing, the artwork right now. But we're in the very final phases of it. So we're probably another month or so. All this is kind of coming to the head at the same time.
Do you have a just one specific landing page that people can go and put their name and email just to like start to get notifications of what's coming and all of that?
Yes. If you go on the k9grip.shop, down there is a video. And I believe that video says somewhere down there on the bottom, there's a place to put in your email address. And what that does is it locks you in. It locks you into a countdown of when the Kickstarter goes live.
Okay.
It also locks you into an early founder deal where you're going to get a percentage off of the product and kind of help us make that very first purchase order.
Okay.
When we do that, we're hoping to make the very first purchase order mid-April.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes about 30 days to get it in. So we'll be fulfilling all those orders that come in from Kickstarter and stuff at the end of April, probably second week of April, May.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what you've created is very much needed. And I'm not just saying that, but like I have so many personal stories of dumb, retractable leashes. Sure. Even with the tiny, it doesn't even have to be a big dog.
Yeah.
Like even the tiny ones are probably even more dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They go all over.
Yeah, no telling how many lives or injuries this could potentially avoid and get ahead of. So I'm serious. All you dog owners, look this up. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And what you've created is awesome.
Thank you, man.
We're
excited about it.
Anything else that you want to put out there about where they could find you? Or
no, that's about it. The books will be out shortly, and if anybody signs up for that, we'll probably maybe even use that database, send them some some emails about the other books and stuff that will be coming out.
So
we'll kind of tie it in somehow.
Got it.
To where you can see it and know that it's there and things like that.
So for all updates, go to k9grip.shop. Put your name and email address in there so you can get all the updates.
All right.
And no telling, maybe you'll get some gifts and some free dog treats. Maybe?
Absolutely. I created this executive pin, and all the top donors are going to get them on the Kickstarter platform.
Cool.
But I have one for you, and I forgot to bring it.
Oh,
but I got one for you. I'll give it to you next time I see you.
Well, I'll see you Sunday.
All right, man.
For sure. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
This has been fun. It's been a
fun.
Great conversation. And
always great hanging with you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Clarity Changes Everything. If this conversation helped you in any way, it would mean the world if you would subscribe and then make sure you share it with someone that needs to hear it. And if you're here in the DFW Metroplex and you want to talk windows, all you got to do is text Clarity to 214-225-1922 to schedule your complimentary in-home consultation with me. If you want updates on the podcast, special offers, and more exciting things coming, just want the news, visit claritychangeseverythingpodcast.com and join my email list. Until next time, remember, clarity changes everything.